Actor and former Member of Parliament Ramya has filed a formal police complaint after facing alleged online trolling and rape threats on her social media. The threats came after she expressed support for justice in the Renukaswamy murder case involving actor Darshan. The abuse, reportedly from Darshan's fans, included obscene and misogynistic comments, prompting widespread outrage and calls for accountability. The Film Industry for Rights and Equality has issued a strong solidarity statement backing Ramya, calling the online harassment a direct violation of democratic principles. The group emphasized that such abuse is punishable under various sections of the IPC and cyber laws and urged the Karnataka Home Ministry to take swift action. Several public figures, including actors Pratham and Vinay Rajkumar, have spoken out in support of Ramya, highlighting the urgent need to address online misogyny and toxic fan culture. On the line with us now is actor and activist Chetan Ahimsa and co-founder of FIRE.
What do you have to say about the whole misogynistic comment and trolling against actor and former MP Ramya?
Yeah, I see this as a multifaceted issue. I mean, oftentimes we simplify it as Ramya versus the fans of Darshan, but it's much more complex than that. You're talking about a freedom of speech issue. You're talking about social media, what is proper etiquette, decorum in terms of what is appropriate, what is not, both morally and legally. You're talking about film actors and their people who support them or follow them or their fans and who are their fans. So it's a multifaceted issue. And personally, I believe in terms of what is in the best interest of democracy is how we should look at it. So Article 19 upholds freedom of expression, freedom of media, freedom of speech. This is very important for any democracy. So everybody should have the right to speak their opinions, their ideas, their thoughts, what they believe is right to a different degree, what they believe is wrong to different degrees, and that should be articulated. And Ramya has that right, and even the people who are on social media have that right. But at the same time, there are certain restrictions, limitations that must be followed that the law prescribes and morality prescribes, such as certain kind of statements that are vulgar, misogynistic, anti-women, can be viewed as even hate speech in their own ways against women and against transgender and women, and how permissible they are or if they are allowed, and how the government should take some sort of regulation on those if it should at all. So, and we're not trying to blame Darshan fans for this, because this is not Darshan fans. You can't make a sweeping generalization. This is a group of people who claim to be Darshan fans, but actually are tarnishing his name even more. And this is not just Ramya who is fighting, even though she's leading the fight and she's making a very strong statement. This is not Ramya. This is against. This is a fight that all women and transgenders, and we're even talking men who are connected to women, as in their mothers, sisters, wives, whatever, wives. And that in that situation, you're talking about just the misogyny overarchingly that is going on in the cyberspace and social media universe. So this has to be looked at in a complex way. We want to FIRE has expressed solidarity. Film Industry for Rights and Equality, an organization that has for 8 years we've been working for gender rights, gender justice, along with many other things, including the Me Too movement. So we've extended solidarity to Ramya in her fight against trolling. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we are supporting what she said. We are supporting her right to speak and have a civilized debate for or against her, but not with such misogynistic vulgarities that are coming up on social media.
Also, since this is not the first time where a celebrity or a woman celebrity has been trolled, so do you think or do you believe that the film industry enables a climate where fan groups can harass with impunity, especially when it comes to misogynistic abuse?
Well, there's a strong, a large-scale kind of unregulated or unmade aware kind of toxic masculinity that is across the spectrum. I mean, you're not just talking about fan followers or people who profess to be film fan followers. You're talking about overarching society. You're talking about even film stars might even partake in it. You're talking about various elements and the cinema culture is actually breeding this kind of toxic masculinity, along with many other things, statements by politicians, a lack of awareness on the grassroots level and the educational level about gender equality and gender rights and proper behavior overall for men and what are the rights for women. So there's a whole environment of, along with many other issues that are going on in society, this toxic masculinity that is growing. And most importantly, we have to shed light on these issues. It's not something that is going to get solved right away. It's not something that you could bring in a law and say, this is a sweeping law that nobody can do this, because you cannot really infringe on freedom of rights, freedom of expression, freedom of media, because these are all basic essence of democracy. But at the same time, when it comes to women, when it comes to transgender, when it comes to certain castes, when it comes to hate speech and vulgarity, misogynistic, anti-women comments, this can also not be allowed in a civilized discourse or a critical discourse. So democracy must flourish, but at the same time, these kind of issues must be addressed on a whole grassroots, on a whole holistic level. I mean, you're talking about, you need school programs in terms of what is gender equality classes. You're talking about overarching awareness on gender rights and a kind of dismantling of toxic masculinity on all levels. And the government has to get involved even in terms of cyberspace. I mean, cyberspace is a very highly growing, expanding AI. You're talking about social media. You're talking about very many elements that are going really fast. The government cannot be slow and lethargic and backward thinking. You need to be quick. You need to be faster. You need to get out there and be able to regulate that very cyberspace that is exploding. You need to be able to properly channel these things, because this social media, cyberspace, artificial intelligence, various things are a double-edged sword. You're talking about media that is everyone's hands, that you're talking about the possibility to influence society for very good, but at the same time, everybody is not as responsible. A lot of people misuse, and these kind of misogynistic vulgarities come out. So it has to be looked at in many faceted ways, and we need to shed light. And FIRE has extended solidarity in terms of, I repeat, not what is being said from Ramya, but more her right to say it and the need for restraint when it comes to inappropriate, indecent, and vulgar comments. That might be hate speech. I mean, just because it's vulgar doesn't mean you have to infringe on it. But if it is something depending on specifically for women, or specifically for Dalits, or specifically for Muslims, or specifically certain kind of, or transgender, or LGBTQ, or certain kinds of hate speech / obscenities, anti-women speech, there must be some kind of mechanisms to curb those, to address those, and to tackle those. And that's something that the dialogue has to get started, and it's just pushing the discourse into a place where there must be more awareness, rather than bring this law in, bring this in. It's more of a sense of bringing a larger scale awareness on this issue.
Thank you.